But
yeah, that's another fear of mine. We haven't seen any of the
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 monsters,
putties
yeah.
and what have you.
Right.
So
Well, haven't we though? They're like kind of more rock looking.
I mean, those were more of a simulation.
Well, there's another
That was
spot
like
in the trailer
some
though.
training shit.
Well, there's that, but then there's another spot in the trailer, or maybe the second trailer, where remember when like Billy does that like awesome like triple kick? You know,
Yeah.
It looks like they
Yeah.
took like rock or something and they like made it into like some monster. I mean, like again, that's another thing I'm hoping is like,
Good.
you know,
I
well,
hope they don't Suicide Squad it up where they just have some stupid ass
What
like
were those things?
bubblehead creature
Like
tumor
barnacle
shits.
heads? like how did that? What?
This ain't Last of Us, damn it! Like
Yeah, they look. I mean,
what's
it's
really
just
good with that?
incoherent.
Yeah. So I hope they don't go down that route.
But then there's also the whole thing, I think, from the beginning of Power Rangers, which is, again, something that they didn't make into a thing, is like kind of this magic versus technology thing. You know, that the Power Rangers are kind of like, they sort of use technology. They had the Zords and they had the weapons and all this.
Exactly.
And then the
but now it
villains,
seems like they're going the alien route full blown, so
which is what I like about it.
Yeah.
It grounds it in some sense of like reality. Like the command center is like a ship that's like underground, and Zordon maybe like an alien as opposed to like some wizard. It has the makings of like a success. Like this could be a hit movie. I'm kind of hoping that it's good.
Yeah.
I mean, but my fear is that it's just gonna suck and be another kind of like Fant Four Stick kind of thing, you know, where it's like it looks great and like it had all the potential in the world, and it's like it's not that hard. It's not that hard to do,
Word.
guys. You know, like you have all this great stuff, giant monsters, giant robots, awesome suits, martial arts. You know, there's nothing missing there. It's just weave it together in some coherent plot. Who's your favorite Ranger?
I always was drawn to the Black Ranger. I think
Pray
he's-
tell why.
Well, I think really just because he's the one that I could relate to the most, being a black man. So, but the one that I always liked the most was Tommy. He always committed the most.
Yeah.
I dug his commitment, and
Whoopsie! Ayo! He was like so
it always
overzealous.
seemed like he was doing something.
Yeah.
Everybody else was like
Yeah.
hitting all weak, but the buddies would still like flip like they got kicked in the jaw. But he looked like he was actually putting it. Oh, okay, yeah, that hit might send the motherfucker flying.
I mean,
all right,
you
cool.
gotta give credit where it's due. The guy is a great martial artist. Like
Yes.
he's really talented, and I mean, like I was telling you the other day, I saw some of his MMA fighting, and he whoops some ass with these motherfuckers in the cage. I mean, like so. I really only feel like maybe three or maybe three, you know, like a couple of them like ever really got some character development, which is again, it's like that's my favorite thing in like Marvel comics or DC comics or comics in general. It's like when they're not in costume, like if you manage to make them interesting, then that's really what we want to see. I mean, like
Exactly.
Whedon
Like,
did
look
that
at
so
the
well in the
Avengers.
Avengers, exactly, especially in 2.
Ah.
He did a great job with that party scene.
But even in 1, while they were just chilling arguing in the
Right.
the helicarrier,
Yeah.
while there was
Excuse me, did we come and blow up your planet? You treat your champions with such distrust. You're not our champion!
great.
Yeah, it was great. Great dialogue, and like, yeah, we cared about them, and that's every writer's problem, I think, these days. It's just like, make me care. Make me care. But like, so I felt like Kimberly sometimes had character development. I felt like Billy did. I guess Jason, no, but he was the leader, so it was like, the burden of the leader. But
Yeah,
Tommy...
they kind of what was it, Leonardo'd him.
Yeah, he was just kind of like,
Like
you know, white bread.
Yeah, his role is his personality.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of
All he really did to lead was say it's morphin time. He never actually
Yeah.
showed any leadership qualities or like, you know, there was never like an election like who you know, like who should actually lead this team in battle. Like, so I mean that would be nice to see. Like, what's the reasoning for that? But then I guess Tommy, yeah, he clearly had the most character development in the original series. I mean, like, he was evil, then he was good, then he was, like, depowered, or, like, had, like, a limited power supply, and then, like, he was not a ranger anymore, and then he turned into the White Ranger, and then he became the leader, which was always a huge problem for me, because I was just kind of like, wait, why? Like, why? Like, Jason's fired? Like, what's going... Like, just didn't make any sense to me. And it always bugged me. And I believe that there's probably a part of that made, like, the actor, want to be like,
I mean, clearly.
I don't want to do this anymore.
Keep going back to it with the pay, but
yeah.
it's such an important part. This is a very popular show. There's no reason why the studio couldn't any up some ducats.
For the people out there, so like according to the actors, like it was a non-union production, so they were not in SAG, means that they could be paid whatever the creators wanted to. And from the reports, like they were underpaid, overworked, and this was the primary reason for the actors that played Jason, Zach, and Trini leaving the show. And I just watched those episodes, like when they did the power transfer. That's like the name of the thing, and it's like the most awkward thing ever. It's like body doubles and everything. It's like they just were like, you know what? I'm not coming into work today. I mean, and it's kind of sad because I feel like at that turning point, that's honestly when the series started to, just fall apart for me.
Yeah, I mean, that's when they kind of decided that they needed to switch up the flow and start introducing
new elements.
I mean, and it kind of gave them carte blanche to start doing other spin-offs, i.e.,
Zeo came next.
Oh, okay, yeah. And then they had like the Ninja Force or whatever.
Right. That's more recent. Well, I think it's Mighty Morphin, and then it was Zeo, and then it was Turbo, and then it was In Space, then it was Lost Galaxy, then it was Lightspeed Rescue, and then after that, I don't really know, RPM and like ZPD or whatever it is, and they just went on and on and on and on. But I gotta say, I mean, like that's kind of clever. It's a clever way to do it, I guess, to just keep it going. It's a huge.
I mean, they took a cue from Marvel, where they just keep making new universes, quote unquote, and
yeah, right. And then they do have these pretty cool crossover events. I mean, I remember when we went to Comic-Con one year, like that was the year when they had like the big Red Ranger thing, and I remember seeing like a really cool display before like the thing even premiered, and it was kind of cool. I mean, like they definitely get like an A for me for like the costume design, the creature design. I mean, they're corny, but they still look good. I mean, it's like
they're creative for what it is. Like, it doesn't look realistic or anything, but it's
a kid show.
Yeah. It's kind of akin to the Ninja Turtles.
Right. Yeah, that's a crossover that I would love to see. And speaking of which, I'm actually like reading right now this crossover with in the comic book realm of like Power Rangers and Justice League, and it's kind of good. It's not bad. But I got volume 1 of like the Power Rangers, so it's like the graphic novel or the trade paperback. And I'm on like maybe the 3rd issue within it, and it's good. It's like it's what I want this movie to be. It just has the same like visual style of the original show, but it's like more grounded, more realistic. They actually like have to go to class, and like you see the troubles that they have. Like Zach has some problems at home and he's keeping it from Jason. It's like that's what we want to see.
I want to relate.
I was doing some research like on the Power Ranger wiki. I gotta say, it's like more interesting to read the shit than it is to actually watch the show, because it kind of explains things with like whatever loose connections they gave on the show and kind of ties them together. Like there's this whole thing called the morphing grid, and like that's related to like where the power, quote unquote, the power, which they always reference. It's like the power is like the ultimate ex machina for everything in the show. It's like we need more power. Oh, if I only had more power, or like powering up. It's like
the Speed Force.
Yeah, exactly. Although there's way more explanation for that, or even the Force in Star Wars. So I mean, like the morphing grid. It's all there. Now just, contrive a damn reason for the shit. Like, what the morphing grid is a part of, like, some alien race's experimental technology, and it, was imbued into objects. Hence you got the coins, and then the crystals, and then the whatever, and then it can summon weapons. But, like, I want to know, what are these Zords just going to fly out of the fucking sky? Like...
Exactly.
Do
they manifest from a different, like, reality that these aliens have access to?
Like another dimension, perhaps?
That would be at least an explanation.
Yeah.
If done right, all right, I can latch on to it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't need it to be realistic, but just justify the circumstances.
And be consistent with it. It's only when they try and give an explanation and then break their own rules or something.
They did that so much on the show. I mean, like, at one point they had flying car. I mean, and then they can fly, and they use that power for one episode. It's like, come on, guys. Like, I mean, even as, like, a 6-year-old, like, I'm not stupid. I think as a 6-year-old, that's why some episodes did, like, upset me. I was just like, you know, you finish watching, and then you're, like, walking around, you're playing with your toys, and you're like, something doesn't feel right,
like,
you know?
It's kind of bullshit.
Yeah, like, wait, why didn't they fly this week? It's like,
I mean, but this is
what
the thing.
are you guys doing in that writer's room?
That show came out and was airing in a time where people didn't binge watch. If at the most you would get 2 episodes back to back, and that was a big deal.
Yeah. They did have a fair amount of arcs, like 3-parters.
They had arcs, but they were spread out over such a
convoluted
week.
mess.
Yeah, like it was a week. Like that you had to wait before you got the next episode.
Right.
So there was enough time that people would forget, or some people didn't catch it. So
right.
reintroducing things wasn't such a big deal.
I suppose.
It's a good way to kill some time, and so you don't have to really make a lot of new content. So
Yeah.
Well,
okay. Next question. I guess we kind of talked about this a little bit earlier, but I guess I want to speculate a little bit about the film. Like Tommy. Tommy is in my opinion, he's kind of like the chosen one.
I mean, he's the one that put the most energy out of all of them.
I guess he was also the most popular character in a sense. I mean, he had like the dope dragon shield, and like his gloves were a little different, and like he was unique. Like, I think that's why he was my favorite, because he was kind of like the odd man out, you know?
Right.
When he was green. I liked him most when he was green, because he was like the villain that turned good, and that's something that like he had to overcome.
He was the anti-hero.
Right, yeah, he was a bad motherfucker. Yeah. He was cool, and, you know, they didn't really trust him, and that created some really good episodes between him and Jason, too. Like,
exactly.
It
made their friendship even more meaningful when they finally, became friends.
Yeah, right,
because they had so much, like, in common, but still butted heads all the time. And
it's like Cyclops and Wolverine, you know, and it just felt more real, you know, but I guess it's like, okay, so all these actors pretty much in this new movie are relative unknowns. I mean, there's like, they've done some things, I'm sure, here and there.
Right.
I think for the girl who plays Trini, it's like her first movie. And a couple of them are Brits. Again, you know, we get a lot of Brits do our American superheroes, but whatever, I don't care. No problem with Brits, guys.
I mean, if motherfucking act, you can play the role.
No problems there at all. But I guess so. It's like one can't really speculate on who they would get to play Tommy, but they have to bring Tommy in. They have to.
Eventually, yes.
I feel like the way I honestly want this movie to end is that, like, they don't show any actor in particular. Maybe they can. Or maybe he's kind of embedded throughout the movie and we don't realize that it's Tommy or something. But I would just like, at the end, you know, Rita, she gets defeated, but now, like, she hatches her plan for the next movie, which is to create the evil Ranger.
Right.
And, you know, we just kind of allude to this Green Ranger. You're smiling. Like, it's kind of good, right? I mean, it's just kind of obvious, though. Don't you think that that's naturally how it should end?
Yeah.
Kind of like, you want to set up a sequel, well, Tommy's your sequel. But it's like complicated because it's like they're using the original, you know, series platform for this new film franchise. They're not going to go like, you know, the next one is going to be like the Ninja Storm movie. It's going to keep going with like the Mighty Morphin, even though Mighty Morphin is taken off of like the title. It's just Saban's Power Rangers.
Nice.
So, I don't know. Do you think they're going to bring in Tommy?
I think they should eventually, especially if this movie is good. But that's a lot of ifs.
Yeah.
So, like, we gotta see.
I mean, honestly, man, this movie's gonna fucking suck. Let's just face it, it's gonna be terrible.
No.
I have a feeling it's gonna be awful.
I will be like.
One person needs to be positive. I mean,
I'm hopeful.
Dude, I am so excited. I don't think it's in IMAX, but like, it looks visually like it's gonna be awesome.
As long as they don't DC it up, then they'll.
Don't get me started. I mean, like, that's a whole nother podcast. I think we just need to talk about the problems going on there. I really do. I think.